NASA's not your friend. Elon Musk is not your friend. DARPA's not your friend. They are, basically Musk is just a front man for this agenda that has been around. And I want to show the audience this because we're going to go deep for a very long time and with precision, Riss, has been predicted by NASA. And in fact, this document that you're looking at is a NASA document called Future Strategic Issues, Future Warfare circa 2025. And the man at the top, Dennis M. Bushnell, he is the chief scientist then, and this is a publication of a presentation he gave. So this is a PowerPoint presentation. So he's actually talking for hours and hours while he goes through these things. I want to make that extremely clear, and that's key. This man is still in charge of NASA right now. Okay, now they deal with things like the enemy after next, and they deal with things like Trojan horses, civilian systems, info, psychological warfare. But what's really interesting, and we're going to go back to the document just really quickly, is that they decided in 2020, and this is an association, by the way. I want to just let everybody know why we're talking DARPA, for instance, with DARPA, the FBI, the CIA, all those good organizations that obviously love us, Riss. So there you go. This is really a DARPA, CIA, FBI. It's a joint document of one of the most high-level guys that I also happen to have in 2011 on tape talking about population control, saying by then in 2011 they'd already instituted 10,000 human beings with brain chips. Let me repeat that. That's 10 years ago. 10,000 human beings with brain chips, and talked about what's talked about here, which is co-opted insects. So they're bioengineering insects that they can remote control them like moths and then fit them with spyware that will not only pick up audio but video and transmit it back. This is a living being. Okay, this is all not science fiction. It is science fact now. Okay, so what's really crazy is if you go and you type in 2020, just so happens that they decided that the bio-nano age was going to start in 2020. Well, what started in 2020? If you're taking an mRNA vaccine, that is...
So just to let me be clear here, this document that we're looking at is essentially NASA's prediction of all of these things that we're seeing now unfold?
I wouldn't even go with a prediction. This is the timeline of their rollout. Because the technology that we see, as you're going to see in this document, is 40 years in inventory. They develop it for about 10 to 15 years, and then they roll it out. So in other words, these people decided in their lectures and their white papers long ago that the IT age would end in 2020, which it has, and the bio-nano age, as you can see next to me, and they don't have a timeline for this because the next one's virtual. That's what transhumanism is. They want you gone. You're not a human. First, it's going to be, we're going to augment you with a cyborg. We're going to make you super. No, they want you dead. They want you to believe that you can upload your consciousness to a virtual world. And they don't know how long that's going to last, and they don't know when it starts, but they knew they were kicking off their bio-nano this year, or 2020, and they 100% globally did. Okay? I want to make that clear. Now, you think I'm kidding.
Wait.
Yes.
So 2022 question mark. So when does so virtual means it just goes in your brain?
No. Bio-nano is it goes in your brain.
Bio-nano. Okay, so
virtual means you don't exist anymore, Riss.
So it already started.
Yes. 100% it's already started. That's what I'm trying to explain to people. This is the 2025 blueprint for where they want to be by 2025 and what you're going to see over the next 5 years. But they don't know how long this bio-nano era is going to be in before they bring in the virtual era. Okay, so let me just show you how this works. Tella, if you think I'm kidding, this is what they were talking about, the IT revolution that would end in 2020. Now, I want you to go through this. Telecommuting, teleshopping, teleentertainment. What do we have? Apps on every screen, right? Cable's dying. Teleshopping. Amazon's the biggest thing. Okay? Yeah. Telecommuting You could say that those could be the Zoom meetings as well as the education, which we've seen with all these kids. Telemedicine is the new thing they're pushing, right? We're going to diagnose you through WebMD, et cetera, et cetera. Telecommerce. That's everywhere.
You know what I was just thinking the other day? I ordered for the first time through Instacart. And that sort of like freaked me out. I was like, I could totally see them forcing us to do this and not even be at this point be allowed to even go into a grocery store. I bet you that's where they're headed with that. They're going to make everybody have to order their groceries through an app on their phone and have it delivered to their house.
Well,
I'm like, there's no way we'll be able
all the Amazon drivers last month, and I highlighted this last night, actually had to sign over. Actually, it was today. Did I talk about it today? No, yesterday. They had to sign over their biometric data to just remain as a driver because everything's going to automation. This is it. This is what I was telling you about in the beginning. They want a universal basic income. They want to slowly move us into working with these machines that are totally going to take over. Okay? Telepolitics. Think about that. You never thought you'd see that, but yet you do every day.
Why did the Amazon drivers have to give over biometric data? What does that mean?
So, in other words, they want to make sure that you're efficient. They also want your data. So, for instance, one of the things that we should talk about is that, they wanted to see who was going to snitch on everybody at the Capitol. But the truth is the FBI already had all your data. We already knew they had your bank swipes. That's why I'm very open. That's why I'm like, hey, if you're out there on any political spectrum and you're wearing a mask and you're hiding behind that and you think you're solving the problem, you better get out there with they already know who you are. All right. You're a useful moron. So, for instance, I'm not even sure exactly what this guy did. It looks like he was in one of the spatters with the cop. I'm not sure if he got into the Capitol. I have no idea. But he didn't really have his own social media. His girlfriend did. So by the biometrics they caught on him and all the stuff that they basically get on the internet, they found his girlfriend's Instagram and they found him. You know what I mean? And that's it. That's a wrap on this dude. And that's minimal. That's nothing. That's not the smart dust we're going to talk about from this document. That's not the bioengineered humans, okay? When I say bioengineered humans, they're here. They've been here. This is here.
What do you mean by that?
So a bioengineered human, okay, for instance, now they're rolling out the idea that China and the United States have just created chimpanzee and human embryos. Have you seen this?
Oh yeah, I saw that. I was like,
that's old, Riss. They've been doing that's been going on literally. Yeah. I'm not kidding you. At least 50 years underground. I would encourage everybody, and much more than embryos. Okay, 100% much more than embryos. So as you see this stuff, telepolitics, telesocialization, that's key. Think about everybody who wants to be an influencer, and it's the new clout, and it's getting shorter and shorter. So, for instance, a guy like me who's kind of remained underground but been able to get a lot of my stuff out big and at least ideas, has always done so through the traditional social media, right? Personally, as I was telling you, I hate fame. I think it's disgusting, disturbing. I would never want to be that famous. I get uncomfortable sometimes, even with the amount that I have. Like, I like meeting people, and that's cool and stuff like that. But I could never imagine wanting my life to be under a microscope, ever. It's already under one enough with all these things we're talking about, right?
What? You got the Wall Street Journal contacting you. You're on the History Channel. You can't escape it at this point.
Well, I never wanted to escape it. I'm just some dumb guy. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, I'm a beauty school dropout. I shouldn't be the one. Like, even I know I'm not the one to be at the forefront of this stuff. I'm just trying to.
Well, you have to be. You're a wealth of knowledge. You know your stuff. We got to hear it from you.
Well, listen, I'm trying to push other people into that arena who have more resources than me. I got the gift of gab, and I'm able to put some of this together where people can understand it, right? But the bottom line is, if we don't get it together, for instance, this vaccine passport, that's the next step to not only total track trace database, but a social credit score, the UBI system, the limitation of movement. Because if you watch, for instance, the Veritas leaks, what did they say they were going to replace COVID with? What? Climate change. And that's a key thing in this Great Reset and even this plan. Like, for instance, Bushnell, who in this lecture, he's constantly talking about climate change. They're always talking about climate change. And man, if you could see him in this other one I'm going to bring up, when they bring up we're going to Mars, and he's just laughing his ass off, Riss. This ain't about going to Mars. This is about the militarization of everything, and NASA is that front. So telesocialization, they're dumbing it down even quicker and quicker. It used to be, okay, you're a YouTube guy like me, right? You could get through 90 minutes. They don't like Rogan's, right? 3-hour conversations, people really engulfed and interested, and they're going to go look stuff up. No, they want 10-second TikToks. They want somebody in front of a thing going, and everybody like bopping with them. That's what they want. I'm not so down with that. And that's by design, so you don't want to look into this stuff. Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. What you just saw was a 10-minute excerpt of an almost hour-long interview with Riss Flex. If you want to see the whole thing, go make a free account over at Rockfin and check it out now. And if you do want to support me, become a premium member and get all the premium content, including old school, over a decade old Info Warrior broadcasts. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you on the flip side.